Good evening, and welcome to Neutral News, the program that looks at the world and says, Tonight, we turn our impeccable, beige-filtered lens to a phenomenon that has, for better or worse, become the crucible of modern romance. We are, of course, talking about the digital dating profile. An exquisite paradox where we are all, simultaneously, the director, the leading man or woman, and the marketing executive for our own romantic aspirations. We go now to our correspondent Susan, who has spent the last fortnight conducting a deep-dive investigation into the curated chaos of the dating app ecosystem. Susan.
Neil, it's a landscape of profound and troubling repetition. I've seen enough photos of a man holding a fish to stock a commercial trawler. I've witnessed enough women posing with a giraffe to suggest a mass exodus from the zoo. And as for the text, I have counted precisely 47,892 instances of the phrase, "here for a good time, not a long time," a sentiment that, when applied to a potential relationship, sounds less like a promise and more like a warning from a health and safety officer.
A veritable digital echo chamber of live, laugh, love. It is, Susan, the modern equivalent of a medieval herald proclaiming, "Behold, I am a person of agreeable disposition, and my hobbies include general joviality and an appreciation for the scenic." It says nothing, yet it claims to say everything.
Precisely, Neil. It's an exercise in presenting a version of oneself that is both utterly perfect and entirely devoid of any discernible character. It's the human equivalent of a stock photo of a happy family eating salad. You know what it's meant to represent, but you also know it's not a real family.
Let's break down these great profile archetypes you've identified, starting with the Wanderlust Warrior. This is the individual who, and I'm paraphrasing from memory, travels a lot, gets lost in nature, and whose profile is a carousel of them standing on cliffs, sitting on elephants, or, most impressively, looking wistfully at a temple. What, pray tell, are we to glean from this global odyssey?
The Wanderlust Warrior, Neil, is a master of visual misdirection. The photos are less about showing their personality and more about demonstrating their financial liquidity and a lack of a mortgage. It's a subtle flex, a silent negotiation of social currency. The subtext is not, "I am an adventurous soul." It is, "I have enough disposable income to be somewhere other than here." It's the dating app equivalent of owning a slightly more expensive car than your neighbor. It's a message that says, "I can afford the carbon emissions."
So, it's not about the journey, but the fiscal destination. It's the ultimate look-at-me moment without the messy reality of a bad hair day or a passport that has gone through the wash. A similar, and perhaps even more perplexing trend is the dog-parent paradise. The photo is never just of the person, it's always with the dog. A canine companion as a co-pilot in the search for love. What is the psychological gambit here?
The dog, Neil, is a Trojan horse of emotional availability. It's a silent, furry ambassador that bypasses the need for actual conversation. The dog implies a whole host of virtues: responsibility, kindness, a routine that involves early morning walks. It suggests a person capable of unconditional love, a trait often in short supply on a Friday night. It's a brilliantly cynical move. The profile is not saying, "Look at me, I am a decent person." It is saying, "Look at this adorable creature that trusts me implicitly. Surely I can't be all bad." It's a reverse psychological ploy, and it's a fiendishly clever one at that.
A truly cunning use of a pet as a personality crutch. And then we have the mysterious minimalist, the individual who has a single photo, often taken from a distance or in shadow, and a bio that simply says, "Ask me." What is the end game for this digital apparition? Are they simply terrible at taking photos?
A truly perplexing specimen, Neil. The mysterious minimalist operates on the assumption that a lack of information creates an alluring enigma. The reality, however, is that it simply creates an administrative nightmare. No one wants to ask me. We have been conditioned by the digital age to require a complete dossier before making a decision. The mysterious minimalist is the equivalent of a television show with a vague synopsis and no cast list. Nobody's going to watch it. It's a high-risk, low-reward strategy that often ends in the digital dustbin of nope.
And what about the actual digital language itself? The photo hierarchy, the bio buzzwords. Let's delve into the unwritten rules. Susan, what is the single biggest photo blunder you've encountered?
The group photo, Neil. Specifically, the group photo where it is impossible to identify which one is you. This is not a promotional brochure for your friendship group. This is a personal advertisement. We do not want to play Where's Wally? We just want to know what you look like. It's a classic move that says, I am a person who belongs to a group of other people, but I don't really know who I am on my own. It's an act of profound self-doubt disguised as a display of social popularity.
A truly stunning act of passive-aggressive misdirection. And what of the text? What's the most prevalent and unhelpful phrase you found?
The phrase, fluent in sarcasm, Neil. It's a conversational non-starter. You can't be fluent in sarcasm. It's like saying you're fluent in sighing. It's not a language, it's an affectation. It's a desperate attempt to appear witty and sharp, but it's a bit like a fire alarm that keeps going off for no reason. People eventually just stop paying attention. It's the online equivalent of wearing a t-shirt that says, I am a person who says things that aren't literal. We get it. Now try being funny.
The sheer lack of originality is staggering. It's like a national curriculum for personality. Let's move to the deeper psychological current. Why do we go to these lengths to present this highlight reel version of ourselves? Is it a fear of vulnerability?
It is a fear of vulnerability, Neil, but it's also a fear of rejection on a mass scale. A dating app profile is an audition, and in an audition, you don't show up with a cold and a stain on your jumper. You present the polished, flawless version. The problem is, that's not who anyone is. The app encourages a sort of transactional honesty, where you're only selling the best bits of you, like a house that's only had the front-facing rooms painted. You get the sale, but the buyer is going to be very disappointed when they see the damp patch on the wall.
So, the search for connection is often a search for validation. A swipe right is not an expression of interest so much as an affirmation of your own carefully constructed digital self.
It's a subtle and insidious cycle, Neil. You curate a persona, a stranger validates it with a like, and you get a small hit of dopamine. The real person you might be ends up buried under a stack of holiday photos and witty one-liners. It's like trying to build a new road on top of a perfectly good footpath. You end up with something that looks functional, but you lose the organic, messy, and ultimately more interesting route.
It's a truly bleak analysis, Susan, but there must be a way out of this digital quagmire. Is there an authenticity advantage to be had? What does a good profile look like in this world of manufactured perfection?
The good profiles, Neil, are the ones that have a small, imperfect detail, a photo of you pulling a silly face, a bio that talks about your profound love for a terrible film, something that says, I am a real person and I'm not afraid to show you the bit of me that isn't perfectly curated. It's like the difference between a meticulously landscaped garden and a slightly overgrown allotment. The garden is nice to look at, but the allotment is where you find the interesting stuff. It's where the personality is.
A profound horticultural analogy. We've prepared a brief segment on a neutral news profile makeover. Let's take a look. We'll take a profile that is a cavalcade of cliches and transform it into something that might, just might, lead to an actual conversation. Our subject for this evening is a gentleman named Trevor. His profile is a masterclass in modern mediocrity. His first photo is a blurry group shot where he is obscured by a large man holding a trophy. The rest are a series of sun-drenched beach selfies and a photo of him holding a pint of beer. His bio reads, "Just a lad looking for a laugh. Dog lover, not one for drama." Now, let us perform our digital surgery. Firstly, we will eliminate the group shot. Trevor, you are not a member of a boy band. We will replace it with a photo of him on his own with a slight mischievous smile. It's not perfect, but it's him. Next, we shall address the beach photos. They are aesthetically pleasing, but they convey nothing of Trevor's personality. We will replace them with a photo of him looking slightly exasperated while attempting to build a bookshelf. It conveys a relatable struggle, a sense of humor, and perhaps a need for assistance. And finally, his bio. It is a tired tapestry of cliches. "Just a lad looking for a laugh" will be replaced with something more specific, like, "I'm looking for someone to help me assemble flat-pack furniture, and in return, I will cook you a surprisingly decent paella." "Dog lover" will be removed, as it's been superseded by the pet's own profile. "Not one for drama" is a phrase that, in itself, guarantees drama. We shall replace it with, "I am a person who enjoys the mundane things in life, such as a well-brewed cup of tea and a comprehensive spreadsheet." The new Trevor is still Trevor, but now he is a Trevor who is relatable and human, not a stock photo. He is a work in progress, not a finished product. He's the person you would actually meet. He's the person you'd want to have a conversation with about something other than the weather. And that, I believe, is the key. The objective is not to create a perfect version of yourself. The objective is to create a profile that is compelling enough to encourage someone to see the real you. It's about moving from the swipe to the sentence to the conversation. It's about realizing that the best version of yourself isn't the one with the perfect lighting and the witty one-liner. It's the one who is imperfect, honest, and just a little bit messy. So we encourage you to take a long, hard look at your own profile. Ask yourself, am I the person I'm trying to be, or am I the person I am? Good night.